Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 GMO suggested combos run, where I'm taking combos suggested by you, the viewers, and running them through Danger 5, so come up with your worst or best combos, and let me have them. Today I'm doing one that's been suggested a lot, a character combo with very high highs and very low lows, that I think will actually be quite difficult overall. We're going to be playing the Speedy, which loses 100 armor when standing still, but gets faster and gains melee damage based on your speed, combined with the Soldier, which can't attack except when you're standing still. So this means that we will always be, as long as we're able to attack, we'll be taking double damage from every incoming hit. So we have to basically avoid taking hits. We're in danger of just being one-shot at pretty much any moment, but we get correspondingly high damage output to make up for that. Now, the Speedy's bonus only gives us melee damage, and the Soldier is heavily incentivized to play with ranged weapons, because otherwise you have to get really close to enemies, and when you can't move and have to get close to enemies, can't move while attacking and have to get close to enemies, that's very dangerous. But luckily there is a solution to that dilemma, which is to play with the ranged melee weapon, the Shuriken. So Shuriken's a ranged weapon, it has 350 range, and it counts as ranged for most things, but you'll notice at the top there, the little sword, it scales with melee damage. So we're still gonna get to use the Speedy's bonus when we're playing with Shuriken, and of course we get the precise weapon tag, which is a very good weapon tag as well. We need to be very aggressive about buying damage here, I think, because the challenge for this build is that we will never be able to survive hits. So if I tank hits, then I'm going to die. So we're just going to have to be clearing enemies as soon as they spawn, or as soon as they get close to us. So for that reason, we could take attack speed or percent damage. We do get 50% boosts to both of those while standing still. So I think what I'm going to do is grab luck here. Luck is just very good for boosting our damage output. And we'll take the Shuriken. Peaceful Bee cost me 1 melee damage, which isn't awful, and does give us stats that we want. Dodge is our defensive stat of choice, of course, because our armor will always be at minus 103 at minimum, so we're definitely going to suffer from losing armor. So I will lock the Peaceful Bee. We're not going to buy it right away. Beanie does give me 4% speed and 2 melee damage, but I actually think we want economy items or damage items over things like Beanie early. I'm going to roll for more Shurikens first. Let's keep rolling. Getting really unlucky on these Shuriken rolls. There's one, and then roll again, and roll one more time. Yikes. Okay, so we managed to get very unlucky rolling for weapons in the early wave. Shuriken's a very cheap weapon, so usually you expect to find 4 or even 5 of them in the first shop. We only found 3. We were able to lock a 4th, but still, we're going to be a little behind because of that. On Soldier, you can still attack. There's no cooldown on your attacks, so you can just tap the keys or the stick if you're playing on a controller to move. It's not like Streamer where you have to be standing still for a certain amount of time to get the effect. Soldier can attack as soon as you stop moving. While I normally want Harvesting, I think we're actually going to pass on it here. I'd rather roll for damage, although I am about to buy Peaceful Bee. I think still we're going to roll past Harvesting and look for things that give us more ability to damage enemies, so we'll just take Crit Chance. Crit Chance, of course, very good with Shuriken because it increases the number of bounces you get. We'll roll and buy another Shuriken and roll, and can we lock one more? Okay, this level 2 Shuriken does help. This gets us to 7 after our first 2 shops, which is about on par for where we want to be in terms of finding weapons. No enemies were spawning, that was weird. Remember, we're taking double damage from every hit, so right now we can survive a hit, or approximately double damage, it's like plus 88% or something. Right now we can survive 1 hit, I think, but pretty soon we're just going to be in danger of being one-shot at any moment, and... Oh, I should have stopped moving there. I gave up like 3 kills, because I was trying to go for the tree. Here, I'm tempted to, again, buy Harvesting, but I think we're going to roll, and I will take Crit Chance. Again, we have some percent damage and some attack speed from the Soldier, so we need that less than we need Crit Chance. And we have flat melee damage from the Speedy, so just making sure our bounces are always going off, I think, is the thing that's going to help us the most. 2% lifesteal would be not terrible, but my goal is to just not take hits rather than try to regenerate incoming damage. So I'm going to buy these. I will pass on the Gentle Alien for now, but I will buy another Peaceful Bee and a Fertilizer and a Shuriken, so this is a great chop for us. This will get us up to, we'll gain 1 Harvesting this wave, so we will not quite hit 21. But now I guess I will buy Harvesting if it shows up in a level up. I am a little bit regretting not taking the 2 Harvesting that we were offered, but the crit chance is also very good, so I'm not too sad about it. Tanked 1 hit there, took 8 incoming damage, so as you can see, we're rapidly getting to the point where we're going to die if we tank damage. As the Soldier, we also have really excellent pickup radius. So it's, even though we're a Shuriken build, and normally those really want to invest in things like baby geckos or alien tongues, that's less important for us because we're the Soldier. Landmines, I will take these for 6 materials. I think it's worth it, just to, maybe we'll get Fairy or something. And Insanity, of course, we're going to grab. And then here I will take the 8 Harvesting. Any of these except the armor would be fine picks, but this will push our Harvesting to the point where we're getting additional Harvesting every wave, so that's very good. And then we'll take the Gentle Alien and the Shuriken, take our free reroll. Helmet we don't want. Lucky Charm I will buy. I do need to boost my move speed or melee damage a little bit. Cake I think I will take. We currently have no Piercing, so I'm not going to buy the Pumpkin, but of course we would buy Piercing if we see it. Is it worth speculating on Pumpkin? I don't think so. I really need to boost my single target damage is what I'm most worried about, because we've got those elites incoming. And when you can't move and attack at the same time, elites can be very difficult, so we have to put ourselves in a position where we can kill them almost immediately as soon as the wave starts. Ideally. And we will have so much AoE just based on leveling our shurikens and buying crit chance that I'm not really worried about piercing shots or anything like that. The book I'm going to pick up for the same reason I took the landmines, not because they're good in and of themselves, but because we might find fairy and it's only 4 materials. Hands, I think it's probably late enough that I don't want to continue boosting harvesting. Although, I guess, again, it's a level 2, so against these other things, I will take 1 more harvesting upgrade, and then I'll take 6% speed, mostly because it's worth 3 melee damage. Here, I will take the Lucky Charm and the Head Injury, and then I will also buy the Cake. We do want to get enough max HP that we can survive 1 hit from most enemies, so we will still buy max HP when it shows up. Lock the Propeller Hat. I'm going to reroll. We're guaranteed to see 1 weapon in this shop, so we're reasonably likely to see a Shuriken, but unfortunately we did miss on Shuriken there. Although we got that level 2 on Shockwave 2, we've still found fewer Shurikens than you would usually expect, given that it's such a cheap weapon and everything. Looking for more speed or melee damage at this point as well. Shuriken doesn't scale super hard with melee damage, but you have to remember that it's a ranged weapon, so the 30% scaling that we get from melee damage is basically the same as 60% scaling from ranged damage. Plus, of course, we get all the critical hits. Soldier's knockback is really hurting me there when trying to kill that loot alien. I will recycle the book, we've already got one. Defective Steroids is great for us. Elemental damage, unfortunately, not so useful. I'm actually going to take 45 range here. I think range is pretty good for this build, so I'm just going to pick it up. Weird Ghost I will take, and Propeller Hat. We have no healing, but I think I can... I mean, the goal here is to avoid taking any hits at all, so it's better just to buy the Weird Ghost anyways. And then Bowler Hat is good enough that I will pick it up here, because it's still pretty early. We're at 50 harvesting already, which... I was not expecting this to be a harvesting build, but it sort of turned out to be one. And then 20% damage from the Triangle of Power is worth 120. Again, we're going to be avoiding trying to take any hits, so... Or trying to avoid taking any hits, so we can benefit reasonably well from items like Triangle of Power. It shouldn't cost us any damage. I really want to avoid getting too close to the big slashers, because they force you to move. Have to dodge those, because we still don't have enough health to survive a hit. A little more attack speed would be good. Tap move on the soldier to make sure that we're continuously attacking while also repositioning. Still not sure if I can tank a hit or not. Here, so we could take 6% speed, which is 3 damage, or just 4 flat damage, or I could take 5 crit chance. So currently, I've got 67% crit chance. I think I actually want to boost my crit chance over the flat damage here, so I'll take that. And then attack speed or percent damage, I'm going to take the attack speed because we've reduced ours quite a bit. Triangle of Power and Little Muscly Dude, we're taking both of those. And then rolling. Shady Potion, I will lock. Then I'm going to roll again. Still not finding any shurikens. I'm getting kind of concerned about that, because shuriken is a weapon that you really want to upgrade. Notice how the damage scaling from melee damage increases significantly every level. And the crit chance goes up and everything, and the bounces go up. So the fact that we still haven't found more shurikens is pretty bad, unless I've accidentally passed on a couple, which is always possible. Gotta do some dodging there. Where are the enemies? That's the thing about shurikens, is you kill the enemies really fast, so sometimes you just have nothing to attack. First world problems, but for a build like this, where we really need to be killing everything as it spawns, because otherwise I could die if I stand still and tank hits, like someone who's very bad at video games, then it's very important that I make sure I'm constantly attacking. If we get any lifesteal, we'll be able to heal back up very quickly, because we're a bouncing shots build. Walked right into that, and almost into that. Gotta really clean up my play here. I'm starting to tank a bunch of unnecessary damage. We'll take the coupon, and then more crit chance. Tentacle and the level 3 shuriken, these are perfect for us. This is healing that will be extremely effective, and of course, we have been desperate to upgrade our shurikens, so we're very happy there. We're gonna roll. We've got 83%, and it goes up by 3% every level, so we can still use a little more crit chance. So I will buy the Insanity, and then we'll go up to 92% when we hit the level 4. So I don't want to go over, I guess, 60% crit chance. I forget what the actual base numbers are. This is where having piercing shots would be pretty nice. But we're gonna stand still as much as possible on wave 9. We also... It would have been great to get a Scar before this wave. This character benefits a lot from levels, because all of our stats turn into other stats, in terms of like move speed and stuff. So we can benefit a lot from any stats that we get. Just raw stats are really good for this character. Especially if we later find stuff like Power Generator, which of course we're hoping to do on the Speedy. And walk around and try to pick up some materials before the end of the wave. Gambling token, yeah, we'll take that. Dodge is important and armor is not. And then I'll take 5% crit chance. Here, I don't really want the harvesting anymore, so I'll roll and we'll just take some flat melee damage and move speed. That helps us reposition. Now, I did take Triangle of Power, so I can't take Jeff's Shades, which is a downside of taking Triangle, but the 20% damage is still really good. We will take another Tentacle and a Bat here. I think just a little bit of lifesteal is really good for this build, so I'm going to pick up the Bat. We'll take the Defective Steroids as well. Roll again. Finally, more Shurikens. Metal costs me crit chance and gives armor, which we don't care about, but also gives us 1.5 melee damage, some max HP, so I will take this. Fertilizer's efficient enough to buy at this point, I think, and then we'll roll. The Flabort costs me 20% speed, but gives me 10% attack speed every wave. So obviously very poor to lose 10 melee damage if we buy the Flabort here. But the 10% attack speed every wave, that's going to be 100% attack speed by the end of the game. And a bunch of elemental damage, which isn't worth anything. So would I spend 20% move speed and 10 flat melee damage for, let's average it out and say 50% attack speed? It's a very difficult choice. I think because we're going into these elite waves, and this will hurt my damage a lot in the short term, I'm going to skip it here. Then, great to upgrade the Shuriken, and of course we will take the statue because even though it costs us a ton of attack, a ton of speed, this gives us 40% attack speed right away. So it's a little bit of a better trade than the Flabort. And statue's just good on Soldier. Very bad on Speedy, of course, but I think the 40% attack speed is still worth losing 5 melee damage. Attack speed is typically the stat that you need the most for single target damage. So that's the most important stat going into elite waves anyways. Gonna try to get some material pickups there. With 44 HP, I think I can survive a single hit from an elite, but I'd like a little more just for a safety valve. I will take the metal detector here, and Finn, this is great, gives us some lifesteal, and, of course, offsets the negative movement speed that we're about to take. And then I can start building dodge as well. We're up to 25% dodge already. That's not bad. Let's reroll here. And do I want HP, melee damage, or attack speed? So I'm about to lose 5 melee damage, which is a problem, but I think I'm going to take the HP, because I think that can guarantee that we don't die in one hit to the elite. Vigilante ring, that's good. And then upgrading our Shuriken is more important than buying statue or baby gecko, but we can do all of it. Let's roll here. Lemonade, probably still worth it for this character. Terrified onion, 2 melee damage. How important is that? I think it's still worth taking. Charcoal I'm not going to take, though, because it's more expensive and costs me harvesting. Is that even right? No, I'm going to skip both of those. I don't think that the 2 melee damage is actually worth spending on Terrified Onion. Again, you can see the soldier knockback really hurting us in this wave, because while normally knockback isn't horrible against the rib cages, you want to push them away. Here, we just want to kill things as quickly as possible, so the fact that we're knocking them away instead of just DPSing them down is making it a little harder to make money this wave. Knockback is a funny stat because in most circumstances it's actually bad for you. Just makes it harder to focus down individual enemies like the rib cages or the loot aliens. Kind of glad we have all of this harvesting, because we're actually not making that much money per wave. I will take the missile. Percent damage is good here, and then let's just take 3 flat melee damage. And Lemonade I will buy, because if I tank a hit, I really want to get back to full health immediately to avoid getting just 2-shot by the elite. I'm going to buy the beanie as well so we can reposition more easily. Upgrade our shurikens and roll. Upgrade my shuriken and buy a tree and roll. And we have 97%, so I can take this and then we will be able to reduce my crit chance and still critical on every hit, which isn't bad. And I'm going to roll one more time because I really want to upgrade before going into this elite. It depends on what elite we get, but there are some that could make this very difficult to survive, so I want to maximize my stats as much as possible before going into this wave. All right. This one is not great for us, but not horrible. The problem is it doesn't come towards us, so in this stage, and it's going to fill the arena with stuff we have to dodge, so it's very hard to focus it down. But it doesn't place these slashes directly under you most of the time, so we were able to avoid having to dodge around it. So that was not the best elite we could have gotten, but not the worst either. Now that we have higher level shurikens and 100% crit chance, we're just bouncing shots to everything on the field all at once, which is very nice. Making decent money as well. Yep, we don't care about losing armor, so that's very good. Bloody Hand, again, I did take Triangle of Power. This is what I was worried about when I took Triangle. Was that it would cost me the Bloody Hand damage. Now, if we take Bloody Hand, we would gain 24% damage and then lose down to minus 120% by the end of the wave. So unfortunately, we just have to recycle that. I will take the bonus range. Now, obviously that sucks, but to have to recycle Bloody Hand, which is kind of the ideal item for this build, but with the triangle, it gave us so much damage that it was still correct to pick it up. We just got unlucky. Here, I'm just going to take more bonus range, because I do actually want to hit everything on the field. And let's take some HP and the Cyclops Worm. Tractor, I am going to take as well. Roll this as well. Jetpack is perfect for us. Shuriken, yep, we'll upgrade the Shuriken over picking up the Cyclops Worm, and then we will reroll. I wish I'd gotten some XP gain earlier, but at this point I don't think we're taking the Peacock. But Beanie I will still take. Obviously, it feels bad to not be able to take the Jeff's Shades and the Bloody Hand because we picked up the Triangle. But passing up on a super efficient item for this build because of a, like, 1 in 30 chance that we roll into the level 4 that punishes us for doing that is just not a good plan. So sometimes you roll badly, but it was still absolutely correct to pick it up. Adrenaline, we're definitely taking. Bait, I will take as well. We should be able to clear those very quickly, and we'll take 12% damage. Then I'm going to buy out this whole shop. Roll again. Wisdom, I don't want. We're going into an elite wave. We would lose a bunch of damage. We need to be able to kill these elites quickly. So for that reason, I'm also going to take Terrified Onion. Just a little bit of flat melee damage goes a long way for this build. And rolling into Silver Bullet is awesome. We'll take Coffee as well. Capping our speed isn't awful, Do I care about 80 range and 8 regeneration, though? Range, again, I don't hate increasing my attack range, but do I want to spend 200 on it? Not really, so I'm just going to lock the Shuriken and then fight the Elite. I tanked one hit there from the Lampreys, which honestly I wasn't expecting to. But we were still able to clear the Elite very quickly. Because of the delay on them spawning, I was expecting to just immediately obliterate them as soon as the round started, but they spawned on a delay and we moved so fast that I had moved away from where they spawned. So we weren't attacking them anymore. The nice thing about this build for Wave 14 is that the bouncing shots clear the spawn, so we don't have to clear the summons, so we don't have to worry about, like, staying in one place to kill the goobers as they spawn or whatever. The shuriken bounces will just take care of them. Giant Belt, yep, this is a good way to speed up our kills on elites and bosses. Dynamite, I'm going to recycle. I don't think we care about Fairy, even if we find it now. That was something I wasn't, I was willing to speculate on earlier, but we've got our Lifesteal and Double Tentacle, so our healing is more or less in place. I'll buy a Shuriken here and a Mastery. Obviously, the #1 item we could find would be Hunting Trophy, which we still haven't seen, which is unfortunate for a critical hit build. Crown, we would be gaining... I'm guessing this will give us about 50 stats in terms of harvesting growth. I could do the math there, but I'm not going to. Do I want to buy the Crown? I think Crown might be a little bit late, but it's also a really fun item, so I'm going to buy it anyways. We will buy Defective Steroids here, or Metal. I guess I'll just buy both of them, but I'll start with the Metal. We've ended up with so much move speed. If we find Power Generator, we're going to get so much damage from it. I will say, no Hunting Trophy, no Power Generator, rolled into Bloody Hand after picking up Triangle. So we've had some negative luck here. But we got... the elites we got weren't the worst for us to fight. So even though we had some delays on finding our shurikens and got a couple items that weren't perfect for us or whatever, this has still been a pretty good run overall. I think we're running slightly below average for what I would expect at this point. But not by a huge amount. Bag, I will still take, of course, even at this late stage. And then melee damage or attack speed. We've got a lot of attack speed while standing still, because we get plus 50% from soldier, plus 40% from statue. So that puts us at 105%. So I'm going to take the flat melee damage here. Another statue, how good is that? I think good enough to take. I'm going to pick this up, pick this up, pick this up. Too late to bother with XP gain, so we're going to roll past it. Upgraded shurikens are awesome. Definitely happy to take that. And we can even buy the level 1. Just trying to get near where the enemies are spawning so we can clear them as soon as they spawn. Not let the buffing aliens cast their buffs. Not let too many enemies stack up on the field. Obviously, AoE damage isn't something we're super concerned about, but we still want to play cleanly because with minus 100 armor whenever we're standing still, it only takes a moment of me being sloppy for me to lose. Even though this run is now going quite well, it's still very losable just because of the amount of incoming damage that I could face if I just walk into a couple enemies. Never underestimate my ability to lose runs that look unlosable. Yeah, I'll take the improved tools for 10% attack speed. We don't have any structures. I guess we've got the landmines, but mostly don't have any structures. We'll take 6 dodge here, try to hit dodge cap. I will sell out of this shuriken that we just bought. A little unfortunate that we have to do that, but of course upgrading our shurikens is still good. And here's our hunting trophy. This will still pay for itself almost certainly. I'm going to buy it. We'll make money off of that even with only 3 waves left. And we'll pick up the clover, I think, over the tentacle. And then lock the tentacle. We've got... did I decrease my crit chance? Yeah, I must have. We've got 99%. So... Tentacle will push us back to 100% crit. Oh, I think I bought a medal, that's why. Shuriken is, like, basically my favorite weapon in this game, I think. It's just so fun and satisfying to use. It takes a little bit to get going because of the low initial single target damage, but once you get it going, it's just... You just clear the waves so fast and in such a satisfying way. Trying to pick up at least some of these materials. Up to 856 income. Yeah, I'll take the glasses. Like I said, range is actually pretty good for this build, and we will definitely take focus here. We'll take 6% dodge to try to hit dodge cap. Let's take a look at our hunting trophy. Already almost made its money back, and it's just going to grow from here. We'll take the tentacle and roll. Upgrade a shuriken. Nice. Roll again. I really want to... do I want the snail? It's probably still worth it, even though it costs me a melee damage. Just slowing down the elite is pretty helpful going into an elite wave. Take this. Roll again. Vigilante ring doesn't do anything, but I'll take the beanie. And for 57, we wouldn't be able to upgrade our damage anyways. So even though I want to get as strong as possible going into an elite wave, we're going to hold off on re-rolling because we wouldn't be able to buy anything regardless. Alright, this is the elite that I was most afraid of earlier, but now our damage is high enough that it shouldn't be a problem. That one can be very dangerous for Soldier if you don't have the damage to kill it, because it will quickly start putting you under pressure. So even though you might think it would be easy for Soldier to fight, because the normal way to fight that elite is to just like move in a triangle like this and let it run past you. If you aren't actively killing it while you're doing that, then the other enemies on the field can start stacking up and really putting you under pressure. So that's the one I was most afraid that we would get wave 12. We didn't, and got it wave 18, by which point it has become trivial for us, so that's pretty fun. One of the like good design feelings in RPGs, right, is when they put you up against an enemy that you really struggled with at level 2, at level, like, 8, and then you just wipe the floor with them, and it feels good. It gives you a marker of your power. It's kind of the equivalent concept to that. What would have just happened to that elite? I'm going to recycle the garden. We don't need it. Dangerous bunny. Yeah, we'll make 30 off of it, even in only 2 shops. And then panda, I will still take. Get to over dodge cap, that's pretty nice, and I'll take the sharp bullet here. It's a little late for it, but it's still going to be good. We'll recycle the shuriken to upgrade. I keep finding these shurikens that I have to recycle to upgrade rather than being able to just buy one and combine, so it's costing me more money for the same upgrade, but still not horrible. I'm going to buy the lifesteal, and I'll take lumberjack shirt just to pull it out of the shop. And here's the level 2 shuriken. Let's roll Cyberball. We don't really care about spreading damage across the field. We've got shurikens for that. We will take Claw Tree, though, and Cute Monkey combined with our Gecko can help heal. I will roll once more for 63. That's an expensive reroll, but I think worth it to do once, and we'll buy a fin. Up to 8% lifesteal, which with shurikens is plenty. I do like to have, like, 10 to 15% lifesteal on these bouncing shots on a slingshot build or whatever. 10% or 15% lifesteal is kind of the goal. But with shuriken, you also get tentacle healing, so our healing is totally taken care of. I'm curious how a lot of our items have performed, like our economy items, things like the crown, the hunting trophy, of course. Gonna check the hunting trophy at the end of this wave, because obviously money that we make during wave 20 won't matter. Not that we'll make much money during wave 20, so we'll recycle that, and I guess I've got maximum dodge, so I don't need more dodge. Yeah, we'll just take 12% damage, that's fine. Hey, nice, we get to max out our shurikens. The hunting trophy has given me 500 materials, so as you can see, it's hunting trophy is just an absurd item on crit builds. Even though we found it wave 17, it still paid for itself very easily and made us a bunch of money. We'll buy that. We're at 108% crit chance. Clover, I don't really care about. Compass, I can afford to reduce my crit chance, and that will help a little bit. Fairy, we did buy some stuff for Fairy. I guess I'll take it. There's not that much that will help me going into this boss wave, so I'm gonna take Fairy just to make sure we don't die. Lemonade, similarly, not an amazing pickup for us, but reasonable. And Lure is actually pretty good going into boss waves with a build like this, because we can benefit from the consumable healing, and we can benefit from just having something to bounce shots off of and lifesteal off of. So just having more enemies on the field going into this wave is good. And is something that you would actively be looking for to make sure that you have things to lifesteal off of. Lifesteal builds can run into danger against the boss, because there's just not as many things for you to actually lifesteal off of, since this wave has fewer enemies on it. So things like Lure or Bait can be actively good for you going into the end waves. This guy chases you, so we do have to be a little bit careful. Again, I could still die if I just tank 2 hits in a row. But luckily we killed them very, very quickly, so we were not in danger of doing that. All right, let's take a quick look at our economy items as well. So the coupon, of course, made its money back. We got bags pretty late, but I bet we still made, 300 materials off of those. Pretty good. Crown gave us 89 stats, which means it did pay for itself, because that ticked 4 times or 5 times. I forget what wave we found that on exactly, but you can, roughly speaking, have that number and then multiply it by the number of waves, and that's how much it gave you, plus it gives you the XP. So the crown actually was a good purchase. Giant Belt did 48,000 damage, which is awesome for any critical hit build, of course. And other than that, everything from this build worked very well. I felt like this was just a very clean execution of the build. We ran into a little bit of poor luck. Maybe we could have had a slightly more powerful endgame build if I hadn't taken the triangle, but of course the triangle helped us get to the point that we got, so I don't regret picking it up. All right, my friends, hope that you enjoyed this run. This was a really fun one, just a nice clean execution of a fun concept. And as always, if you have enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and like the video. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I do appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game content. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.